You cannot stop thoughts from entering your mind, but you can decide which ones stay. You can decide which ones receive your energy, and which ones are dismissed before they grow. Winners understand this clearly. They do not waste time trying to silence their mind completely. They simply refuse to let the wrong thoughts take root. They cut off the noise and protect the signal early in the morning when it is still a whisper. Because once that whisper becomes a roar, it turns into a battle. Most people lose the battle not because they are weak, but because they waited too long. They negotiated with doubt. They entertained distraction. They allowed small worries to multiply. Winners act immediately. They do not debate. They do not delay. They remove what does not serve them and move forward. Then comes something even more powerful. They create emotional stability. Before the first challenge of the day ever appears, emotions do not ask for permission. They show up unfiltered. Especially in the morning, you might wake up feeling anxious without a clear reason, heavy without an event, irritated without a trigger that is normal. Your nervous system is recalibrating. Hormones like cortisol naturally rise in the early hours to help you wake up. Sometimes that biological shift feels like stress even when nothing is wrong. If you do not stabilize yourself before facing the world, you will be carried by whatever emotion shows up first. Winners do not leave their emotional state to chance. They build stability deliberately before anything tests them. Emotions are real, but they are not always accurate. You can feel fear in complete safety. You can feel sadness on a perfectly normal day. You can feel anger without being wrong. Emotions are signals, not final verdicts. Epictetus reminded us that it is not events that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. In the morning, your interpretations can be distorted by fatigue, by habit, by chemistry. That is why winners create a buffer. They establish a baseline that does not depend on how they happen to wake up. They understand that feelings are temporary, but decisions made under emotional impulse can shape the entire day. Think about how many days have been shaped by a single unmanaged emotion. Waking up tired leads to procrastination. Procrastination leads to stress. Stress leads to poor decisions. One small feeling snowballs into a chain reaction. By contrast, when you anchor yourself first, the same tiredness does not control you. The same stress does not dictate your behavior. Winners use simple tools to stabilize themselves. Breath control is one of the most powerful. Slow, steady breathing signals safety to the brain and lowers stress responses. Stillness helps the mind settle. Gratitude shifts focus toward what is working. Movement energizes the body and balances mood chemicals. It does not matter which tool you choose. What matters is that you use one intentionally before the world demands anything from you. From that calm center, everything changes. Marcus Aurelius wrote that very little is needed for a happy life, and that it exists within your way of thinking. Emotional stability does not mean feeling positive all the time. It means not being ruled by temporary feelings. It means you can feel fear and still act, feel doubt and still move, feel heaviness and still show up. Winners do not wait to feel ready. They construct readiness from the inside out, especially in the first 30 minutes of the day. When you build that foundation, early challenges do not hit as hard. Stress does not spiral as quickly. Disappointment does not crush you, because you are not starting from emotional chaos. You are starting from stability. When life throws something unexpected at you, you do not collapse. You adjust. The difference between someone who falls apart at the first obstacle and someone who remains steady is not luck or talent. It is emotional stability. And that stability is not built in dramatic moments. It is built quietly before sunrise when no one is watching. Protect your thoughts. Guard your emotional baseline. Anchor yourself before the world tests you. That is how strength is formed in silence. This is Stoicism Breath, reminding you that the power of your day is decided in the quiet moments before it truly begins. While most people stumble through the morning reacting to whatever emotion shows up first, winners are already building their foundation. You do not have to feel perfect to be powerful. You do not have to feel happy to be productive. You only need stability. Stability is not something you wait for, it is something you choose before the day asks anything of you. Think of it like pouring concrete before a storm. You prepare the base early, so when pressure comes you do not crack. Many people wake up and ask themselves, how do I feel? And then let that answer decide how they act. Winners reverse the order. They decide how they will act, and then they generate the emotion that supports the decision. That is the edge. That is what makes them steady before 8 in the morning. Then comes another powerful habit. They lock in one strong thought and build the entire day around it. The average person wakes up with dozens of thoughts competing for attention, tasks, worries, reminders, random ideas. Because they do not choose one direction, they chase all of them, and complete non-mental energy gets scattered, and by noon, they feel drained without real progress. Winners simplify. They choose one clear, powerful thought before 8 in the morning and let everything else organize around it. Not 5 thoughts, not 10, just one, because one focused idea executed with consistency is more powerful than 100 scattered intentions. This is not only about productivity, it is about identity. It is about deciding who you are going to be today before the world tries to assign you a role. Winners ask themselves a simple question: what belief must I carry today to perform at my highest level? The answer might be I am capable. It might be I finish what I started. It might be nothing breaks my focus. The specific words matter less than the conviction behind them. Once they choose that thought, they do not second guess it. They do not overanalyze it. They repeat it. Repetition is important, because your brain learns through reinforcement. Neuroscience shows that repeated thoughts strengthen neural pathways. The more you think a thought with emotion, the more real it becomes to your nervous system. So winners sit with that thought for a full minute. They repeat it slowly. They let it move from a sentence in the mind to a feeling in the body. They allow it to shift their posture, their breathing, their energy. They do not rush this process, because they understand that the thought they install in the morning will color every decision that follows. Marcus Aurelius said the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If you let random fears and distractions dye your mind, your actions will reflect that randomness. But if you saturate your mind with one empowering belief, you begin to embody it. Every conversation, every task, every challenge becomes an extension of that single thought. Winners are not trying to think positively about everything. They are trying to think powerfully about one thing. That one thought becomes their anchor. Plans can change, schedules can break, unexpected problems can appear, but a strong internal belief travels with you. It holds you steady when circumstances shift. When you lock in one powerful thought, your actions align naturally, your energy aligns, your decisions align. You stop hesitating because you are no longer operating from confusion, you are operating from clarity. Tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone, sit still for 60 seconds. Ask yourself, what must I believe today to move with strength? Choose one answer, claim it, repeat it until it feels real, then build your day around it. Winners operate from clarity. They are not reacting to every notification, every comment, every unexpected problem, because they already built a foundation before the world had a chance to shake them. They decided what today is about before the day tried to decide for them. That single decision becomes protection. It shields their focus. It guards their energy. While most people wake up and let the news, their inbox, or their mood tell them what to think, winners wake up and tell the day what they have already chosen to believe. Here on Stoicism Breath, we talk about living with intention, not by accident. Think about it. How many mornings have you opened your phone before you even opened your mind? And suddenly your emotions belong to someone else. A stressful email, a headline, a message that pulls you into reaction mode. By 8:15 a.m., you are already behind, already scattered. But winners do something different. They set the tone first. They choose the mental frequency they will carry through chaos, doubt, and fatigue. You do not need 1,000 affirmations. You do not need a wall covered in vision boards that you secretly do not believe in yet. You need one thought, one sentence, one truth you are willing to defend all day long. Maybe it is I stay calm under pressure. Maybe it is I finish what I start. Maybe it is I protect my health no matter what. When you lock that in before 8 a.m. and make it non-negotiable, it becomes the lens through which you see everything. You respond differently. You decide differently. You win differently. Winners do not hope for a good day. They engineer it with one powerful thought. And then, there is something even more powerful. They treat 7:59 a.m. like a psychological deadline. Deadlines create urgency. Urgency creates focus. Research in behavioral psychology shows that when we give ourselves a clear cutoff point, our brain shifts into prioritization mode. We stop drifting. We start deciding. Winners understand this deeply. They do not treat the morning like an endless stretch of time where they can scroll, delay, or ease into the day whenever they feel like it. They draw a line. Before this moment, I belong to me. After this moment, I engage with the world. That boundary is sacred. Without it, you give yourself away before you have even built yourself up. If you spend the first hour reacting, you never truly own your mind. But if you say, I have until 8 a.m. to win my mind, everything changes. That small window becomes powerful. You sit up. You breathe. You reflect. You lock in your thought. You prepare your body. Maybe you stretch for 5 minutes. Maybe you drink water instead of caffeine first. Maybe you journal 1 page. It is not about perfection. It is about ownership. When the clock hits 8 o'clock, there is no I will do it later. No, I will focus when I feel ready. The deadline removes negotiation. Most people treat the morning like it is infinite. Because there is no urgency, they waste it. They overthink. They wait for motivation. But motivation is unreliable. Structure is reliable. Pressure, when self-created and intentional, does not create stress. It creates direction. Imagine knowing that by 8 a.m., your mind is already steady. Your thought is locked in. Your body is moved. Your intention is clear. When the world wakes up and starts asking for pieces of you, you are not scrambling. You are anchored. You are not trying to find yourself in the middle of chaos. You already found yourself before it began. The morning is not short. We simply waste it. So tomorrow, treat 7:59 a.m. as your line in the sand. Before that moment, build yourself. After that moment, bring your built self to the world. One thought, one deadline, one clear mind. That is how you stop negotiating with yourself. That is how you become unshakable. Stop saying just 5 more minutes. Stop telling yourself you will start after coffee. The moment you wake up, you handle your mental business immediately. You sit up. You breathe deeply. You ground yourself in the present moment. You lock in your one powerful thought. You cut off the noise before it even has a chance to enter. You stabilize your emotions instead of letting them scatter. You filter your mind. You take command. And you do it all before the clock runs out. By the time 8 a.m. hits, you are not the same person who opened their eyes. You are sharper, calmer, clearer, stronger. In a very real sense, you have already won. The rest of the day is execution. You are no longer trying to find yourself. You are not scrambling to get it together. You already did that before the deadline, before the world asks you for anything. Most people wake up whenever. They start their day whenever. They decide to get serious whenever. But whenever quietly turns into never. Days blur together. Intentions fade. Focus dissolves. Winners do not live like that. They draw a line in the sand. That line is 7:59 a.m. After that, it is too late to build yourself. After that, you are either prepared or you are not. And they make sure they are prepared every single day. This is what separates people who control their lives from people who are controlled by them. Time is the only resource you cannot earn back. You can lose money and make more. You can lose opportunities and create new ones. But you cannot relive 7 to 8 a.m. once it is gone. That hour is powerful because your brain is still impressionable. Neuroscience shows that in the first hour after waking, your mind shifts from slower brainwave states into full alertness. What you feed it in that window matters. If you feed it stress and distraction, you train it for reactivity. If you feed it intention and clarity, you train it for leadership. You do not need more time. You need a deadline. A clear point where you tell yourself this is it. No more delays. No more excuses. I have until this moment to get my mind right, and I will use every second. When you give yourself that hard stop, everything changes. The morning stops being something that happens to you. It becomes something you conquer. Before the noise. Before the emails. Before the headlines. Before the world gets loud. You take command of your first thought. You filter what enters your mind. You slow your breathing when everyone else is rushing. You cut off mental noise before it multiplies. You build emotional stability before the first challenge even appears. You lock in one powerful thought and build the entire day around it. And you treat 7:59 a.m. like a psychological deadline that cannot be moved. Perfection is not the goal. Intention is. The morning is the foundation. If the foundation is weak, everything built on it will eventually crack under pressure. But if the foundation is solid, even a chaotic day cannot shake you. Winners protect their mornings like their lives depend on it. Because in every way that truly matters, they do. You have the blueprint now. You know what to do. You know why it works. The only question left is simple. Will you take control before 8 a.m., or will you keep handing your mind over to whatever grabs it first? The choice is yours. But winners made their choice a long time ago. That is why they keep winning. If this message spoke to you, let it be more than motivation. Let it be action. Choose your affirmation. Decide your thought. Draw your line in the sand. Become the 1% who wins the morning before the world even realizes there is a battle. This is Stoicism Breath. Tomorrow morning, before 8 a.m., take command.